This is the 18th season of Bass Talk Live. With your host, Matt Pangrat. BTL is brought to you by Lowrance, Bass Cat Boats, AFCO, Duck It Fishing, Strike King Lures, Sunline, Big Bite Baits, Spro, X-Zone Lures, Gamakatsu, The Bass Tank, Denali Rods, and Pro Guide Batteries.
PTL, coming at you!
Good morning and welcome to BTL on a Tuesday. It's a very special Tuesday today because it is 2/22/2022. There's a lot of numerical numbers, a lot of numbers that go in there, and I was just perusing the interwebs, reading about the significance of 2/2/22. And let me see what I can find here. This is maybe a New Age website. I'm not sure how deep I want to get into this. I probably should have researched it more. This is the end of a 2/2/2 sequence that started back in 2000, with the other key years being 2002, 2020, and 2022. And we won't see this sequence again until 2/2/2/2/2. And apparently the 2/2/2 sequence of numbers is often referred to as angel numbers. So we got to have a good BTL today because we have a very significant date on it. We also have a good BTL today because we have none other than the one and only John Cruz, who is going to join us for the show. Cruz, I believe, is back in the Missile Baits headquarters. I don't know if he has a nickname, a place that he nicknames like the headquarters, like the bunker or something like that. I don't know. But we'll get John Cruz on, obviously, to talk about his second Elite Series win of his career, which took place a couple weeks ago on the St. Johns River, the first Elite Series angler in the rich history of Elite Series action on the St. Johns River to go wire to wire, something that's very difficult to do in Florida, particularly when John Cox comes in with almost 32 pounds on one of those days. But he managed to get it done, and we're going to talk to John Cruz, who's very busy, has a lot of business stuff going on with the Bassmaster Classic less than a week and a half away, also competing in that event. It will be, although today is 2/2/22, it will be John Cruz's 13th Classic, so maybe lucky number 13. Some interesting stats there, though. The last time that John Cruz competed in the Classic for the win would have been 2020, I believe, when he recorded a top 10 finish, and he finished 6th in the 2020 Classic. But the precursor to that was he did finish 2nd that same year on the St. Johns River. So he gets the win on the St. Johns River in 2022. Maybe that could be a thing. It's a sign to come of what happens in the 2022 Bassmaster Classic. Also, I want to bring John in on this because, let's see, Mr. Cruz, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Good morning, Matt.
You're a big numbers dude? I mean, I went through the whole 2/2/22 deal. Does it feel like a special day there in the Missile Baits headquarters?
I was aware of the 2/2/22 a few days ago, and then I lost track of time. And then you just reminded me of the 2/2/2/2/2 thing, and so that's cool. I don't pay much attention to it. I think it's cool. I like how people look for stuff to make of it. It's fun.
Do you remember that thing? What was that deal that I did with you a couple years ago? Like, we had you on the show and I found like some bizarre sequence of numbers. Do you remember that?
I remember that. And then
I need to pull that up. I want to see if I can find that. I remember I put it on. I remember it was quite the string of numbers. Hold on. I need to find that. I should have found that before. It was... Oh, yeah. Okay, here it is. You were on right here. Let's see if I can get the volume up on this. All right. Do you know what place you finished in Hartwell last week?
At 23rd. You finish in 23rd. Do you know what place you are in the Angler of the Year standings? No. Do you want to take a wild guess? 23rd? Yeah, do you know what place you finished in 2016 on Winyah Bay?
It's because they were on Winyah Bay.
Do you know where the FLW Tour is fishing this week? Cherokee. Do you know where you finished in Cherokee on 2017? 23rd? Do you know where? Yep. Do you know where the MLF is competing this week? Chickamauga. Do you know where you finished in Bass Fest in 2014 on Lake Chickamauga? 23rd. Do you know how many top 10 finishes you have with bass? I want to just go ahead and take a guess at 23.
Anyway, so it's weird. It's like a numbers thing with you every time you're on. Like, that can't be coincidence, can it?
I love it. No, it can't be. Can't be a coincidence.
All right. I want to get you on for the opening segment. We're obviously going to talk about your big win with the trophy that, dude, you're the first guy that I think has ever exactly weighed the trophy, and I think that should be the new number now. You want to hit a 38-pound bag. I mean, there's going to be some opportunities. You're on lakes where there is a chance to hit a 38-pound bag. I mean, you passed up a couple of them there, but I think that needs to be the new gold standard if you can catch a 5 bass limit that weighs as much as the Elite Series trophy.
I agree. You know, people always talk about catching, a dirty 30 bag or whatever. Be like, no, I want one of them trophy bags, son. I want
a trophy bag is now 38 pounds. That's what it will be referred to as, a trophy bag. Is there a chance at this upcoming tournament for a trophy bag? That's going to be a new question.
I think so. I think it should be. Let's start it right now, Matt. It's just us. We're just going to start it right now.
I wanted to bring you in on this because you've been doing this for a long time. You have over $1.5 million in earnings, but the NPFL, I feel bad for these guys. There's like 120 guys that are kicking this thing off on Lake Cumberland in Burnside, Kentucky on Thursday. And it's really cold and the fish aren't biting. And you have those derbies, and I've done it, where I just constantly in my brain am saying, embrace the suck, embrace the suck. I am eliminating competitors who have given up, who are shivering and hovering under their console, just waiting for the day to be over, where your hands go numb. Listen to this. So the lake is on the rise. There's a flood watch for it right now. And that's a lake that jumps up like 20, 30. Like, you've seen some of the tournaments out there. It's insane. But 80% chance of rain pretty much all morning. Then tomorrow is going to be just above freezing, 0 wind on their off day. Then Thursday, the high is going to be in the mid 40s, the lows in the low 40s, and there is a 98% chance of rain the entire day. Then Friday, it's going to rain all day, and it's going to be 31 at takeoff.
Okay.
How do you handle those when you can handle the cold, you can handle the wet, but the wet and the cold is just a brutal combination, isn't it, John?
It's an ass beating. It really is. My hands just get really jacked up in those cold conditions like that. But if you can keep your core dry, in the main part of your body, if you can keep that part dry and warm, then you can do it. Like, that is, in my opinion, that is the entire key, is keeping your core and your whole lower part of your body warm. You either need like some kind of striker or AFCO, like you need some serious rain gear to make sure you stay dry. And I don't care what other dudes on tour say, unless it's got one of the messes on it or the AFCO on it, they ain't staying dry. So that's just my 2 cents.
So you're a believer that the maintaining your core body temperature helps with the extremities. The fingers and the toes will then follow if you can keep the core warm.
100%. Yes. Like if you can if your body, like chest and core is hot, even though it could be 30 degrees out and raining, if it's hot, you can manage, you can deal with it. But if like all up in here starts to get wet, it's going to just leak down and your day is gone to miserable very quickly. But I'll be watching the standings tomorrow. I'm glad you reminded me. I'll watch the standings on Thursday and see how my buddies do in there. I got a few friends fishing it, so it'll be interesting.
It is. I talked to one of my buddies who's fishing it, and he's like, I'm not kidding. He said like 6 pounds a day might cash a check in that one because they got the 18-inch smallmouth too.
Right.
And it's strong. Right. But dude, I probably should. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this is a conversation to have with Rick Pierce, but I mean, you've been in in cats forever. And
Yes.
I've always wondered, like, as innovative as he is, like, I think my Puma right now has like 11 cup holders in it. And
Right.
you're like, my goodness, what are all these cup holders for? And then you realize there's a reason for every single cup holder in the boat.
I personally love all the cup holders because when I'm doing my tackles in the evening, I can take my cocktail to the front of the boat and I have a cup holder. And if I'm more to the console, I have another place to put my cocktail. Or if I'm even at the back relining, which I do often, there's usually cup holders back there. I mean, it's very convenient. I like them a lot.
I say that to ask this question. Why has Rick not developed some sort of cockpit heating system for those cold days, to where I'm not talking about like a heated seat, but like an actual like kind of heater that when you sit down, it's like a balmy 72. Like, is that like a energy deal, or to where it would just draw too much?
It would. He has looked into it. We talked about it before. It would definitely draw too much power and run your batteries down. But for me, I've used heaters and stuff in the past, and I don't use hand warmers anymore. I don't use like external heaters or anything like that. That's like the quick temperature change is terrible on my hands. That does not do well. So I go with what I got. It just keep that core warm, and that's the deal.
Can you fish in gloves, like thick gloves, or you have to have bare hands on the reel?
Usually bare hands. If it's raining, there's no glove that stays dry. So
No.
maybe wool gloves are okay, but outside of that, if it's not raining, then I'll use some sort of glove to fish with. Yes.
Did you happen to see the press release that came out this morning for Bass Pro Shops? This is a gem. I can't get over the name. It's phenomenal.
I did not.
The World's Fishing Fair, the greatest fishing show and sale on earth, is going to take place. It's got like a World's Fair logo.
Yes.
They're going to have 200 exhibits, 150 manufacturers.
I was well aware of this situation. I just didn't know the press release came out
Bill
today.
Dance, Roland Martin, Jimmy Houston, Van Dam, Evers, Reese, hundreds of things. They're claiming that, they did that kind of team tournament, the $1 million tournament that they had the past, and now they're doing the World's Fishing Fair coming up this week. It's crazy, all the stuff he's doing, man.
I talked to a couple other manufacturers, and we were not planning on attending just because it was kind of a late planned
As I said,
situation.
It's March 30th.
And I'm sure it'll be awesome. I mean, they're going to throw a bunch of money at it, and it'll be badass, and I'm sure a bunch of people will show up, and it'll be cool, and they'll have some pros there. That's on like the right as our practice starts for Chickamauga, I believe. Yep. But yeah, it'll be cool. I mean, dude, anything to keep people excited about fishing, I'm all for it.
Now, last thing before we get into it, I do want to mention, and I meant to talk about this yesterday, was the tribute show to Aaron that Zona put out on basically all the platforms. And, you can watch the full episode on his YouTube channel. There's some really cool stuff that was done on the Elite Series last week, and on the BPT. You see a lot of people with the Aaron Martin's ribbon on, and then what David Mullins did wearing the A-Mart inspired jersey in the purple, but definitely wanted to draw people's attention to a really unfortunate that it had to be done, but a really well done show. The perfect amount, man. I literally was watching that thing and was laughing, was smiling, was shaking my head, and then ended with a tear in my eye. Have you had a chance to see that yet?
I did not. My warehouse manager, Mark, he was just telling me about it 5 or 10 minutes ago, and he said, man, if you get a chance to watch it, you got to watch it. He said, just amazing. He said the exact same thing. He said, you're going to laugh and you're going to cry. And he said, and then he tops it off with a big 7-pounder at the end of the show.
Yeah. His last, it's really cool. So when your Buzz Lightyear pack, when you started wearing that at the beginning of this year, Aaron actually came to my mind, because I remember thinking, dude, I bet Aaron would be mesmerized with that thing that John Cruz is strapped to his back, trying to figure out the ins and outs of the logistics of it.
He would be on it like a cat on a June bug, man. He would absolutely, because our friend in common, Ken Hoover, who passed this past fall as well. Ken was the one that turned me onto the 11-9 Bravo Neuropack, and that he is all about the numbers, and Ken is all about the numbers. He and Aaron were very close, and so it just that whole situation about becoming aware of the Neuropack and trying it out and playing with it, and then just understanding and seeing all the benefits, not just from like a sports performance standpoint, but from there's all kind of benefits for training the military. They're actively using it in testing for all over the military. They're using it with Parkinson's patients. It's just kind of crazy, and it looks crazy. But once you like read the research and the studies and stuff on it, it's completely legitimate. It's pretty wild. And yes, Aaron would be infatuated with it for sure.
I was unaware that Ken passed.
Yes.
He was a good dude, man. He was out there all the time. For a couple years, he said, "Hey, you're going to all these Elite Series events covering it, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Man, I got my guys who you would get a little nutrition packet for the entire day." And he said, "Man, I'll hook you up with like all the elk jerky and powders and stuff that you want if you could hand these lunches out to my guys at the beginning of the day." Always a very analytical, very positive guy to be around, and really took care of the guys on tour. So I was sad to hear that he passed, but man, just looking at it from a totally different angle than most guys do. And there was probably a group of 10 or 12 of you guys out there who really took the nutrition, the health, still do seriously on tour, but would. He would gauge what your caloric outtake and how much energy you're burning, and then what you needed to eat to replace that to be at your full functioning capacity.
Absolutely. He helped me out tremendously with understanding exactly what's going on with my body for during competition, so that I can be refueling it to be able to recover faster and to be able to maintain and he's the one that explained to me, as much as I love lifting weights, bass fishing is an endurance sport, not a quick muscle fiber situation. So, with bass fishing, it's about being able to maintain your endurance throughout the day, and then your body having the ability to recover at night so that you can turn around and do it again and again and again and again and again.
Do you think there are some guys out there who would have won more tournaments if they had been in better shape? You don't have to name names or anything. Really?
1,000%. Absolutely. Yeah, people just don't take that part seriously. And so what ends up happening is, if they have any sort of sense of understanding where their body is, they have to dial it back in practice, to whereas they can't practice as long, can't practice as hard, and they have to dial it back so that they can perform, as best they can physically during the tournament, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I know a couple guys that absolutely cannot practice from sun up to sundown
just run out of gas
because they can't do it physically.
I'm doing it wrong then if I'm drinking an energy drink and just grabbing whatever I can on the way there. Like, I'm doing it wrong. I'm not maximizing. Is it more of a physical or mental thing? Because I can go daylight to dark now, but do you think you make better decisions when you have the proper nutrition in you throughout the day?
Well, the way Ken explained it to me is that, just the hydration portion alone can affect your cognitive skills. So your ability to cast that jig, let's say at the end of the day on a long day, if you can't skip that jig in that little hole that you normally can, there's probably a reason to, because you're probably partially dehydrated, and then it affects your cognitive skills. It affects your hand-eye coordination just a little bit, just enough to throw that kind of stuff off. And like hydration starts days before the event, if that makes any sense.
So you're prepping before the tournament for the tournament.
Constantly, yeah, absolutely, constantly prepping. From a physical standpoint, at least I try to be in as good a physical shape. I do a bunch of wrist movements all year, so that I don't get tendinitis. I've never had a tendinitis issue, and I do actively do a whole routine on a weekly basis year round, so that I don't get it.
Is there a bass fishing workout that's available to where, you know, like Tony Horton
Well-
comes on with P90X style, except it's like wrist up, wrist down, set the hook, fast twitch. Does that exist out there?
I don't.
I
Not
feel
that
like one of the
know
lenders
but
was
There's
into
nothing.
that.
There's no substitute for actual fishing, as far as like how it physically affects your body. But there's things that I can do from a like preparation standpoint with that wrist. I use a TheraBand, a little piece. It's like a little piece of foam. It's about yay long, 14 inches long or so, and you twist it and bend it and all that kind of stuff. There's a whole routine that I do. I put a YouTube video out about it, about preventing tendinitis, and I showed my exact routine, everything that I do for that. But then, you know, just over the years, learning different stuff, like a lot of endurance athletes, runners and so forth, they're skinny as a rail. And, you know, like most people don't want to look like a marathon runner, but they have to look like that because that's the way that they have to be in order for their body to perform at its peak. You know, like the lighter that they weigh, the higher their VO2 max is, which is their ability to process oxygen. So the less you weigh as an angler, you're going to have more endurance throughout the entire day because your body can process oxygen better. But yeah, most people don't think about it. They just think, man, if I can just throw my little chatterbait over there in front of the right grass clump and one comes out and eats it, that's all that matters. Well, it does, but for me, it's a part of a bigger picture.
So what's the ideal tournament fishing body makeup then?
Little dudes like me. I mean, like Ike and Nelly, you know, like Polinick, like we could all wear each other's clothes, man. We're all little. I think that's more, you know, like even Van Damme, he's just tall. He's just a taller version. And those bush lights are finally catching up to him. He's put a little bit of weight on.
He's still a freak of nature. He's still, I mean, I don't think he's on any stringent workout routine, and he just has stayed the same for 30 years.
He's long and lean, and he fishes. He's always fished a lot, and he's stayed in shape. Like he's not out of shape by any stretch of the imagination. So he's just a taller version of us.
I don't know if I completely
if I could be 60,
buy
I would,
this,
but
though.
I'm not.
Because I mean, there's some anglers that are definitely, you know, top-notch Hall of Fame anglers that are not exactly the peak of physical conditioning, John, that have millions of dollars in classic
Don't
wins
screw up
and
my theory, Matt.
majors. I'm just saying. You see, I mean,
look at the guys. Look at the guys that you know go on a string and dominate for periods, and they all will have some sort of general.
I don't know. We just
similar.
had Ken Duke on who was talking about Denny Brower's 1998 season and stuff. I mean, I don't think Denny was on the treadmill during those years.
He's not practicing sun up to sundown either. I mean, I know. He was so good. He didn't need all of that practice, and he knew how to manage his body so that he could perform at the right level during competition day. But you look at, like, you know, Edwin Evers, fantastic shape. Aaron Martin's fantastic shape. You know, how many angler of the years? You know, Swindle, he's in great shape. Still, you know, he's 50s now and still in great shape. I don't know. I mean, you know, Jacob Wheeler is in good shape. He's definitely not over. I mean,
those
a lot
big,
of the guys
like, bear-looking dudes, though, like a Buddy Gross who just won, or a Peter T back in his prime, though. I don't know. I think they just have like a lot more. You know what I mean? Like there's also like just the big kind of burly guys that seem to get it done.
Yeah. I mean, those dudes, you know, for a week can absolutely put it together. Mm-hmm. And some of those guys are just so good. Like naturally, they understand the fish. They understand what it takes to get them to bite. They understand where they're moving, that kind of stuff. They're just like Buddy Gross. I mean, he's just a very good fisherman. I don't consider him, like Buddy Gross, to be overweight. He's just a thick dude.
That's what I said, like those big bear, like the guys you don't want to tick off.
Yeah, he's just a thick dude. Like he's hard, man.
Yeah. Anyway, I mean, we were trying to get into a whole show on fishing body types. I just found that was incredibly interesting. Hey, you won a tournament recently, John. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yes. Yes, we have the. I'll show you the trophy when we get. It's out in the lobby.
Okay. Has that sunk in? Are you at a point in your career where it's like it's nice to get another one? Or are you still at, oh my gosh, I didn't know if it was going to happen again? Or are you at, you fished that tournament, then you had a back-to-back. I've always said the guys who win the front end of a back-to-back kind of get the short end of the stick. And then you go right into chaos to get ready for the Bassmaster Classic with the missile booth, and you're competing in it, and you're home for 2 days, and then the Bassmaster Classic happens, and now it's a month past your win. But how does that whole thing process in your mind?
I'll take them anytime I can get them. If they're just going to serve me wins on the front side of every back-to-back, I'll take it, but I mean, basically all of those thoughts kind of run through my head about everything you just said. The first one was so long ago, I knocked on the door a few times, since, but I didn't know if man, it's just really all got to line up for you to win. Well, it finally all lined up. And in the moment, when you do it for so long, you think about, all right, what happened in the first time it happened so that I can try to duplicate it. Well, I just know that if you try to force it, you're like, man, I got to do this to win. I got to do that to win. I got to do this to win. If you're thinking about winning, you lose focus of what matters. And what matters is actually staying on top of what the fish are doing. That's all that matters. If you don't do that, you ain't winning. Unless you have some glory hole where you can just go sit and fish for 4 days. But dude, that basically never happens. That was my whole focus during the event. And after the first day of the event, I'm leading the tournament, and I go back and talk with my roommates, and I said, I think that deal that I caught the fish on, that deal's going away. And they're like, what? You just caught 28 pounds. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I think it's going away. I'm gonna have to adjust and see.
And what made you feel like it was going away?
What?
What made you feel like it was going away?
The weather's warming up. I was catching them deep, 12 to 25 feet of water. And I just, with the water warming up, I was like, these fish want to spawn. They want to be shallow. They don't want to be down there in that deep water. And I think once the sun comes out and once it starts to warm up, I felt like the bait fish and the tilapia and all that stuff that's down there in those deeper areas, they're going to get out of there. And so are the bass. It's going to happen. And sure enough, it did. The second day, I caught a limit in that deeper stuff with one good one, but the other ones were small, and it was a struggle just to catch 5. So within the third and fourth days, I tried it for a little bit. I never caught another one deep.
I mean, we speak honestly here at BTL. Did you think you were kind of screwed going into the last day after Cox drops 31-15? And
no, because the weather was changing. No, okay. The rain was my savior, baby. If we had a sunny, calm day that last day, I would have done something different, but I knew it would have been really tough. But I was good. I would have done something totally different than I did. But with that rain and the overcast, I knew that those the reaction baits on the river were going to be the deal. And man, it just came through. And believe it or not, I was almost surprised that I didn't catch more than I did. Because when those fish fire, man, there's a lot of 4 and 5s on that river, and I just felt like I could catch 20 doing it, and I was a little short.
Was the entire week on the St. Johns River the weirdest Florida tournament that you've ever fished? It seemed like wild swings, weather swings, changing conditions. No?
The one that Mueller won, that I finished second, that was the weirdest one. Because
what was the difference between those two?
Amped up to start the season, everybody's just, 3 monsters deep and just ready to rock. And the wind blew all total, and then we canceled the first day. And the wind blew again, and it canceled the second day. So then it turned into this really weird, awkward 3-day, everybody gets to fish kind of a situation. And it, even on the third day, we didn't even have the regular stage to weigh in at. It was just the odd, weird, a BFL type weigh in. And I don't know. That was definitely the weirdest one, because I went to where I wanted to start, and there was and I knew the water was going to be low, but dude, there was almost no water in that whole area. And I just had to drop. I said, yep, I know what to do now. I'm going to go. I know where I'm going. So then I basically went into one area that was deeper that the fish were still in. And that's where I ended up coming in second, almost winning out of.
Deep water in Florida, not typically something that you hear a lot about, but something that
Well, this was deeper that year. It was deeper on the river. This last week, it was deeper on Rodman. And I didn't even fish Rodman that year that I came in second.
St. John's changed a lot since the days of the eelgrass slugfest in Lake George, hasn't it? I mean, it's fishing like a totally different entire chain.
We're having to fish it differently because we don't have the George option. All the fish that we're catching now, those fish have always been there. We just haven't fished for them as much.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the eelgrass gone in Lake George? I asked this before because the manatees are going ham on it, or is that like a ecological factor? Or are they spraying it?
Here's the quick version of what happened. So during those hurricanes, they had really high water and it got really dirty because it stirred it all up. Okay. Well, those two hurricanes, it shut off the lights from the grass, killed all of the grass. That's the only way you could kill all of that eelgrass at one time. Dude, there was so much of it.
Like no light penetration because the water got so dirty, no sunlight.
Yep.
Is that what? Is that photosynthesis even underwater?
Right.
No, not photosynthesis.
Yes,
What is it? Do they just need the sunlight to grow?
Correct. It did. Okay. It killed all the grass at one time simultaneously from Jacksonville to Dexter. All of it gone. And that biomass of grass, there's a lot of animals that count on that grass to eat. Manatees are absolutely one of them. They eat tons of it on a daily basis, but there's other things, turtles and whatever the hell else eats it. I don't know. I'm not a biologist. Well, then as that grass does start to come back, the animals that are left are like, oh Lord, look, there's finally grass. And then they just mow it right down. So it all has to come back at the same time, but it's only coming back in little patches, and it just gets mowed down. So it doesn't get a chance to grow. They've put little fences around it in little areas, and then they'll take the fences off and then it just goes whoosh. It just gets mowed down and within a week by the wildlife. So it's kind of a weird situation to whereas like they need to section off entire coves from all wildlife and let it all grow so that once they take the fences off, they can't come back and eat it all in like a week, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like a natural occurrence that caused it, right?
Yep.
But it's also like nature that is preventing it from rebounding. So it's kind of like a catch-22.
Right. Yeah, and
I'm sure we had some hand in there as to why it's like that.
Yeah, they've had a record number of manatees die in the last year because I think they're just starving. There's not any, and so they're having to go places they normally don't go to try to find food, and then that's where they're getting hit by boats and whatever else.
You ever had one right next to you there where you are just like look down and you're like, oh, look at that sea cow?
I never saw one when I was at St. John's.
Really?
Never saw one.
Huh.
Yep.
Can you stick around for another segment? I think we'll want to do a change of venue. I want to get into, you used a plethora of options in this tournament that you won. It wasn't just like, I picked up a June bug Cinco and went to work. Like it was, you used a bunch of different stuff. And
that's how I work.
I think we're going to take a quick break. We're going to do a change of venue. And when we come back, John Cruz will be, what's the name of your boat? You have a name for it?
What? Say that again?
Do you have a name for your boat? Like, do you call it something?
No, I hadn't named it yet.
Like the missile machine?
No.
The rocket cat? I don't know.
I don't have. Sometimes I'll name them like a human name, but this one hasn't come yet. I don't know what. I think it's a girl though. Like it's a girl boat. But I don't have a name for it yet.
You can't force it. It's like one of Mercer's nicknames. You can't force it. It just has to come naturally.
Absolutely. You can't force it. That's right.
All right. Well, I'll just say this. When we come back, John Cruz will be in his boat, and we'll go through some of the things that he did to get the job done, to get his second Elite Series win a couple weeks ago on the St. John's River. It's BTL on 2/2/22.
The Ultimate Fishing System by Lowrance. Your choice of powerful fish-finding tools, all connected. From sonar and trolling motor to navigation and networking. To fit the way you fish. All with touchscreen control from HDS Live, the heart of your system. Find more, see more, catch more with the Ultimate Fishing System by Lowrance. Upgrade to the Ultimate Fishing System and get up to $1,000 cash back.
The new Puma STS has been redesigned from the ground up. With the angler, design, function, and performance in mind, nothing on this new offering was compromised, and the only thing carried over from the previous version is the name. Based on the Soft Touch series hull that started with the flagship Jaguar, this new model is nimble and performs incredibly well at all speeds with either a 250 or 300 horsepower engine. Featuring a new 96-inch wide-body footprint, this hull measures out at 20 foot 7 inches in length. Industry-leading design coupled with tournament-winning performance. The Puma STS from Basscat. Feel the rush.
So, you're looking to buy fishing electronics, huh? Are you also looking for true experts to help guide you through it? Well, at the Bass Tank, you've come to the right place. We are live forward-facing sonar pioneers with thousands of hours spent learning through winning trophies, cashing checks, and just having fun. Whatever brand you need, we have it. We offer free shipping, and we have 2 financing options available. Our experts are here to help you. Call us today or visit thebasstank.com.
The new Android series is the peak of the Denali lineup and offers the ultimate Denali experience. The Android series features 36-ton multi-directional graphite combined with interlock blank technology for added strength. Each rod is outfitted with Royal titanium guides that will not fail. The blank is fitted into an easy-touch, soft-feel EVA foam grip with exposed blank reel seat. This all allows the Android to transmit every movement of your bait and even the most subtle bites. The Android series is the finest rod Denali has ever made and offers an angler the ultimate fishing experience with a limited lifetime warranty. See the full lineup of Android rods at denalirods.com.
I've made my living on the water for over 20 years.
For 14 years.
For over 23 years.
I've worn a bunch of different clothing brands over the years.
Some companies big and some companies small.
All of them said they were making clothing for us. But none of them knew us.
None of them were us. Except for one.
Except for one.
Except one.
AFCO.
AFCO.
AFCO. AFCO.
Fishing isn't part of us. It is us.
The KVD 100 jerkbait. 15 different colors. A perfect combination of roll, wiggle, and flash. Increased castability. 3D eyes. Premium black nickel hooks. KVD. Tie one on. Striking lures.
Welcome back to Bass Talk Live on February 22nd, 2022. We are joined by John Cruz. I want to say fresh off his win at the St. John's River, but then you went and finished 70th at the Harris Chain. But man, you get out of Florida, back-to-back swings a quarter of the way through the season, a win under your belt, 6 figures in earnings, headed to the Bassmaster Classic, and you're in the cut right now currently for the 2023 Bassmaster Classic. So all things considered, pretty darn good February, John.
You know, I'm a big believer everything happens for a reason. The win was amazing. That was awesome. There was a reason that I didn't do well at the Harris Chain, and I felt like I was fishing very well and making good decisions there. I had a couple opportunities, not like it did anything wrong, that I could have been, 30, 40 places higher. But I was not on the fish to do well. I mean, I was catching 9 to 11 pounds in practice each day. I was not fooling anybody with the types of stringers and the type of fish I was on. But I outperformed a little bit on the first day, which I was trying to, replicate that and do it again the second day. And it just didn't work out. And I had to drop. I mean, I had like 2 fish at 11:30, and I had to drop back and punt and catch my 9-11 or whatever I did end up having. I had an opportunity at a big one, but man, I was genuinely really, really ticked off at where I ended up in the standings. But I'm not, and then I thought about it a lot on the 11-hour drive home, and I still made good fishing decisions. I was fishing good. I made a lot of adjustments. I fished a lot of the right baits that I thought that I needed to, just didn't get bit. So, overall, not too mad with where I'm fishing right now. And I just want to, keep those kind of good decisions flowing and not let the performance or the finish like affect my thought process on, making decisions on the water next week.
Is that weird idling out on Monday morning of practice for the Harris chain, literally 24 hours after you idle out on the final day on the St. Johns River and you win and all that goes down, and then like 10 hours later you're back on the water like that? There's not many people who get to experience that feeling. Was it hard to get back in the zone?
It was in some respects, but I feel like I managed it pretty well. And so my practice strategy kind of with the tournament at Harris Chain kind of turned into, I'm going to really try to dial it in to, I want to sample 3 big distinct areas in the 3 days we had of practice. And then I'm just going to go with where I feel like is the best option. And that's exactly what I did. I went up to Griffin the first day of practice. Second day, I went and fished Eustis, Dora, Beauclair, Carlton, that area. And then I fished Harris and Little Harris. No, I'm sorry. I fished Harris, Little Harris the second day, and then fished the Eustis, Beauclair, Carlton, all that stuff on the last day of practice, and just went with my gut. And I fished mostly on Harris, Little Harris, and then some on Eustis. And that was kind of where I ended up. Guys did. I mean, hell, that's where Buddy won. Yeah. I mean, he won within sight of where I was fishing. So, feel like I found the right fish.
Made the right call.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He zeroed in on where those fish were moving to and where they were coming from, and that was the big difference. I mean, Schmidt did something similar. They were within sight of each other as well. And he had a top 10, finished 6th there. Really proud of Brian. But that's they kind of dialed it in a little extra.
Schmidt's a missile guy, right?
Absolutely.
Does he ever get fired up? I mean, he said woo when he caught his 8-pounder, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's emotion. Have you ever like when you're hanging out with him? Does he ever get like fired up, or is he always just like calculated business?
He doesn't get fired up like Iaconelli, and I'm pretty low key guy, but I can get absolutely fired up. Brian, he has one of the best laughs, and I love to make him laugh. He's got a good sense of humor, and just one of the genuinely nicest dudes you'll ever be around.
He caught that 8, and I think it was on an Aruku shad. It was on a rattle bait. It was one of those baits that you're like, oh God, I wish I'd hooked this on some other just because of the hook to land ratio. But man, you could like see like the vein like throbbing in his neck. Like I've never seen the guy and he had boats around him. And I don't know if you see the replay of that where it jumped and it's like, oh wow. And then he actually shows some emotion. So he intimidates me a little bit. Like I'd put him in the Bowman. Jason Christie category on the intimidation factor with Schmidt.
Yep. Yeah, I was with Bowman on the mix doing some commentary when that happened. Yeah,
dude, that mix is awesome. Like I watched some of it there with like Swindle and Robertson, and then when you were on, and then Gleason and Pollitt. Like that mix is like, if you're not able to watch it on FS1, that's a great new feature that they're doing, and you guys give up way more juice than you realize you're giving up because you've been on the water and don't know what's going on. And it's like the stream of consciousness. You're understanding, you're finally realizing where everyone else is. And you're like, oh man, I knew there was a ditch there, but I didn't think of fishing it this way. Or I went down that bank, but the wind was from the south. And it's just, you can learn so much watching that mix.
Yeah. The mix is cool. And when you're fishing and they tell you, hey, you're on the mix, I honestly really didn't know what it was. To be honest with you, I kind of had an idea of what it was, but now I really understand what it means when they say, "Okay, you're on the mix." Like I'm like, "Okay, I'm on the mix. Cool. I'm gonna just try to do my thing and keep catching the fish here." I'll talk a little more if I can, but now I have a better comprehension of what the mix means, and That's good. Now hopefully I can get back on live and provide a little better entertainment.
You want to be being filmed fishing on the mix, not like on the mix commentating the fish.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
For those that are listening on iTunes, we have made a slight move at the Missile Baits headquarters to the boat, rod, reel, tackle warehouse portion of it. John is no longer in the studio. He is now standing next to his bass cat. Let me see. We have had a couple names roll in.
There's the boat.
They're suggesting potentially naming, I hope these aren't like secondary names, Mandy the Missile or Bessie. Since you said you thought it was a female boat, Bessie or Mandy the Missile are two options that have come across the instant feedback. But
I don't know. I'll keep it in mind. We'll see what she responds best to.
You probably had to clean that sucker out because I'm guessing Hartwell's just going to be a tad different than what you went through the last 2 weeks in Florida.
It will be. It will be considerably different, and I'm a little different. When I prepare for a tournament, I take every single rod in my boat. I take every one of them out and lay them out. If I'm in the office, I'll put them all over here. All my casting rods, I put them right over there. But if I'm at another tournament, I take them all out and I'll lay them out wherever. Like I've had to lay them out in the grass. Ike and Ellie does the same thing, and we joke because we feel like we're one of those little kids that has to go to the bathroom and you have to pull all of your pants all the way to your ankles in order to do it. Like that's how I feel. I have to take it all out and I have to look at it all to be able to say, okay, I got this spinning rod for that spinning rod for that, that's that bait caster for that, and just go through everything. And that's
all
my
those
system.
came out of the boat, or that's what you travel with? How many did you have in the boat? Because it looks like, how many rods do you have there, John?
A lot.
How many? I want to know a ballpark. How many like rigged up, ready to roll caches do you got?
I don't know. Like these ones are the spares. This group over here is the spares that I keep in the truck, and then these are the spares I keep from the boat, and then I've got another group of them that didn't make the trip to Florida.
Yeah.
But then all of those ones there with reels on them, they're all gamers.
That's like 30 rods in your boat, right?
Yeah, about 30, yeah.
In the rod locker on game day, 30 rods.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
I feel like you're approaching like thrift status and Ike status.
Yeah, maybe.
How many of those do you actually use in a course of a day? Like what's the most you used in Florida in one day out of the last 6 that you fished?
12. I had 12 rods. At Harris, I had, I know I had at least 12. I think I had 13 or 14 out at one time. Yeah, I'd just be fishing and go, oh man, look at that. Let me grab this out. And so I'd grab something else out of the, right. Like the second day at Harris, I was looking around and I said, man, I didn't even throw a prop bait in practice. Let me grab one. I grabbed one. I caught in the last half an hour, I caught two 2-pounders, which I really could have used the second day, but I caught two 2-pounders on the prop bait. And I never even threw it in practice, but I just knew conditions were right and threw it.
You got anything handy to show us that helped get the job done, or anything interesting in the? You've got a ton of interesting stuff because I saw when I set up to see if we had a signal out here. You've got crazy amounts of interesting stuff. That's.
So
he's grabbing a rod from the.
This is what I caught my
30
last
or 40 rods.
This is what I caught the last keeper on at the Harris chain. It was just a 3/8 green pumpkin chatterbait. And it called me up about a pound, believe it or not. And I caught it in the last 2 minutes before weigh-in. I actually threw that fish in the box, made one more cast, and then I ran in and I had 1 minute to go. But that's just it was one of my friends from the Harris chain there. And then it did work. Oh, no, not that one.
You got any gamers from the St. John's? Anything that you caught a key fish on?
Yeah. Dude, I never changed my whole setup here. This is the quiver that delivered on day 3. For me, I caught a 6-pounder. I caught a couple keepers on it the first day. I caught a couple keepers on it second day at Harris as well. But just 7.6 Icon, flipping stick, medium heavy, Daiwa reel, 20-pound sunline shooter, Gamakatsu 5/0 extra. That's the Superline worm hook right there.
That's a new one, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
Run me through that instead of an EWG or a straight shank. That's more of a traditional, just like a worm hook.
Yeah, it's old school like me.
Yeah, what's the reasoning behind just the old school worm hook instead of going with an EWG or a straight shank in that situation?
hooks them right in the face.
There's no like.
It hooks them right in the face, dude.
It just catches them.
Yep.
Do you use all three styles?
Absolutely. Yep.
The EWG, the straight shank, and the
straight shank is better for closer to the boat. That one is more the regular old school worm hook is kind of in between or further away, and then the EWG is best for further away from the boat for when you set the hook. Best way to for people at home to kind of figure out what hook they want to use. Yeah.
Say that one more time just to get that, because I've not ever heard this theory.
The straight shank is better for closer to the boat.
Okay.
Because
punching, flipping, heavy.
Yeah. Let me grab one somewhere. All right, here's an EWG. Here's an EWG.
Okay.
So when you have an EWG style hook, it doesn't, you go to pull on it, the hook point goes straight in.
Yep.
You don't have a lot of penetration. So you need to make sure that hook is pointed in the right direction. So like with the bass's mouth is clamped down like this, that the hook point goes out like this. Because if the bait's turned around backwards and the mouth is clamped down like that, and you crack them with a hook set, that hook's going to spin around and it's not going to have a lot of bite.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to skin hook a lot of them. You're going to lose them. But if you throw that bait way out, dude, I don't care how hard you set the hook. There's so much resistance from the water and all that. That hook will slowly turn inside the fish's mouth, so that when you start really pulling on it, it'll grab some meat. And then the difference with the straight shank is that this is the straight shank. I don't know if you can see it good enough.
Yep.
That's the straight shank. And so like if you have one bite on it and let's say the bait's flipped around backwards in the fish's mouth, when you crack them, dude, there's a lot of like that hook's going to do nothing but bite and go in there and penetrate. You pull on it, it's going to scrape outwards until it hooks into something.
Yeah.
And that's what I use when I'm flipping and pitching. I caught a 3-pounder off a bed with this exact hook right here. The second day at the Harris chain. So that's my theory on that.
That's good stuff, John. And then do you do the same thing line wise as far as different types or
yeah, I use
as
shooter.
far as close versus far out?
No, not really. I use shooter anytime I'm like cracking setting the hook.
Okay.
And then
he hit a pause button.
Time that I'm like power fishing, finesse fishing, that kind of stuff, I'm using sniper. It's just more supple. It's a little smaller. It's just better casting. So that's kind of the difference for me.
So
those
close
are the two
in, you're
big
going
main differences in
shooter,
those
high
lines.
impact, hand-to-hand combat. You're going straight shank, shooter.
Oh, I lost your
audio. You hit something.
I lost the audio. Hold on.
We'll see if he can get it back. But that's an interesting system. I've never heard of that.
Can't hear you.
I've never actually heard of that system. We'll see if John can. Here, John's pushing the screen. I'm gonna remove John from the stream. Here, actually, I'm gonna remove him from the stream there, and then we're going to take our final commercial break, and then come back, wrap things up with John Cruz, and then I have a special call-in guest. I was perusing Instagram, and I know we've already had Fred Roumbanis on this year, but the dude had some bad luck with bananas. And if you follow BTL and listen to BTL, you know that I'm superstitious. And apparently Fred is now. So we'll come back, we'll wrap things up with John Cruz, and then we'll get into some superstitions with Fred Roumbanis. It is Bass Talk Live on 2/2/2022.
Elite Series Pro Daryl Gleason here. My Pro Guide batteries keep me going on those long tournament days and long practice days. Always plenty of juice, never fail. The best part about Pro Guide batteries, it's the people behind the company. They have over 40 years experience in the battery business, keeping all of us fishermen out on the water longer, catching more fish. Check them out at ProGuideBatteries.com.
What's up, Bass Talk Live fans? Brandon Polnick here. And ever since I won a couple Bassmaster Elite Series events on X-Zone Lures, I've been getting a bunch of questions of what makes them so special and different. And really, the truth is, it's in the details. The little details, things like no cheap fillers in their plastic. That gives you more lifelike action, more realistic and vibrant colors. But don't just take my word for it. Go to www.xzonelures.com and check them out for yourself.
Vibrating jigs are a great choice for any time of year, and the Gamakatsu Swim-On is a perfect match for any vibrating jig. Two sizes and the unique tail design gives it a bait fish profile and a great swimming action for realism. There are 17 colors. See them all at bigbitebaits.com.
The Spro Little John crankbait has been around for almost 15 years, and it is one of my go-to crankbaits whenever I need a fish in the boat, so you can never have enough new colors. That's why Spro's coming out with a handful of new colors, including Pearl Shad, which has this bleached out white look, but it's got this pearlescent, really pretty. We've got Copper Shad, which looks amazing in the water. It's got that purple flake on the back, really pops in the water. And then if you want some real pop, we've got Sparkle Shad, nothing but sparkles all over this thing. And then last but not least, we've got the matte Sexy Shad, just a really different looking color for a crankbait. So you want to give them a little different look, that matte Sexy Shad is definitely the one to go with. All these colors are available in the original Little John and the MD.
Combining one of the most popular hook styles with Gamakatsu's beefier Superline offering, the Gamakatsu Superline Offset Round Bend delivers the strength necessary to target big fish in heavy cover. Well suited for braided line and heavier fluorocarbon, the Gamakatsu Superline Offset Round Bend is built using stronger Superline wire that allows anglers to easily fish a finesse worm around heavy cover. The round bend offers a larger bite area, perfect for any worm presentation, while increasing your hookup ratios. The newly enhanced Z-bend holds your plastics on the hook longer, reducing the number of pull-offs and reducing damage to plastics. Available in 2/0, 3/0, 4/0, and 5/0, this is the most durable worm hook, designed for heavier lines that hold your bait on longer.
Preparation is key to success. And that preparation starts well before you ever hit the water. You're only as strong as your connection to the fish, and your line is that critical connection. Confidence in your line every minute of every day on the water is a necessity, and failure, it's not an option. Sunline makes the fluorocarbon, nylon, and braided lines to give you the strength to guarantee your confidence.
Welcome back to BTL 2222 with John Cruz. Can we hear you now, John? Now I can't hear John. Now I have no audio from John. Oh, great. How about now? Let's edit the mic settings. He's going to come back in. It says his microphone isn't connected. Wonder if we just have him go back into the studio. We're doing so well. I was actually learning. Every once in a while on BTL, there'll be a segment or something that comes up where it's just like, oh, okay. That makes a whole lot of sense. And the way that John described the difference between a straight shank, an offset, and a round bend made a whole lot of sense. John is back in studio. He is now attempting to go horizontal. I don't think we got you at all. Now he's texting me. He said his phone is jacked up. You know what? You got a lot to do, probably, don't you? I got John on the call here. Let me hang up here and go back to I won't allow my mic to connect. Let me say try now. I think I might have just troubleshot something. That would be a first in BTL history. And Do we have you? John.
All right, there we go.
I heard you. We got you?
Yeah.
Are you back?
Dude, your
You're
audio
back.
your audio is all jacked up, man.
Can you understand at all what I'm saying?
I can hear you, but it sounds like you're Darth Vader.
Okay. Well, I don't know about the, hopefully, I think it's just you. We're going to wrap this up anyway. You've got a lot to get ready for the Classic. You've got the Bassmaster Classic. You have missile baits at the Classic. What can people expect, if you can hear me, with missile baits at the Classic, where it's going to be what they can get their hands on and look at?
Oh, yeah, dude. Here, I'll give you the preview. Hopefully you guys can hear me fine.
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Cool. We've got the booth. They're getting all that stuff set up. But currently on the website, we've got some new 10-year anniversary T-shirts with me and Ish on there. We got some 10-year anniversary hoodies, but we've got, Lord, I don't even know where they went. We've got some cool new baits that we're going to be showing at the Classic, but just new colors. We're going to have some pearl white D-bombs and pearl white baby D-bombs at the Classic. We are going to have a new color called Sweet Carolina. I'll give you a little preview of it.
Okay.
It is, we're going to have it in the D-bomb, and we're going to have it in the Ned bomb, and that's it right there. It's going to be watermelon candy with a root beer green bottom. If there is a color ever made for Lake Hartwell in that region, it is the Sweet Carolina. But we're going to have that in both size quivers, the Ned bomb, baby D-bomb, and the D-bomb. We're going to have those available at the Classic. That's an exclusive run just for that area. But by all means, go by and hang out with the boys at the Missile Baits booth. They're going to be having a good time. That's one of the guys that called me a few minutes ago, and I think that may have skewed up the signal. But there's the boat. I've still got tackle to get ready. I've still got some Missile Baits business stuff to get ready, and I haven't even packed my clothes. And I leave Thursday morning, so that's just how we roll.
The plan is for you not to be in the Missile Baits booth, though.
Man, I can't even hear what you're saying now. It's I don't know what happened.
I think it's your phone. It's okay.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I was just saying the plan is for you to not be in the Missile Baits booth, because that would mean you're on the water on day 3.
Yeah. Hang out with the boys at the booth, and I'll do the thing on the water, and then we'll all party later. That's the plan.
All right. I appreciate it, John. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you
Matt.
take care of some things. As saying in his Darth Vader voice.
Thanks everybody watching out there. Keep watching. Keep doing good things, Matt, on the show. Thank you.
Thanks, John. All right. We managed to get through that, and I am an absolute glutton for punishment because we're going to go straight to a phone call now, and we are going to dial up none other. We're going to basically cold call Fred Roumbanis now because he was maybe kind of expecting this, but not really. But I want to get the scoop on what's going on with this. We're calling Fred Roumbanis. Hello?
Hey, Matt, can you hear me?
I got you, Fred. Do I sound loud and clear to you?
Yes. 1 second here. Let me see if I can. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
You sound majestic, Fred Roumbanis. I ended up, I guess I had a little bit of a Darth Vader voice there at the end of the John Cruise interview, but as we were wrapping things up, I was thinking it was going to be a flawless show since today is 2/22/2022. And I was like, man, that's like a good luck number. I was reading all about it, but then I saw your Instagram post and stories from the last week at Lake Fork, and you got a possum up in a tree or something there?
Yeah, so dude, I've just had bad luck, and you finally brought some good luck into my life. Thank you. I never thought the 2
yeah,
whatever it is today as being a good luck thing.
Okay,
so
dude.
I'm looking for good luck.
So here's how we're gonna set it up. But I have to know. I look at the Instagram post and all it is a banana.
Well, folklore has it that bananas bring bad luck to the fishermen. If you had a banana in the boat, it's known as, I think a lot of it comes from historical moments when they brought bananas overseas or something. The bugs would get in there and they would eat holes in the boats and sink the boats or something. So yeah, there's actually a little history to the whole banana thing. So banana's kind of a bad luck deal, but I've never really been heck, I've won tournaments eating bananas in the boat. However, I've been told it's such bad luck lately, and everything else I've been going through has been bad luck. I had 2 deer on 2 separate occasions last week alone run into the side of my vehicles. One I'm picking up at the body shop, my truck, my towing vehicle, and the other one is at our at-home vehicle. So I've had this weird strain of luck, and then when I get to my very first spot, first day of competition, I don't even notice it. My official goes, "Is that a banana in a tree?" It's literally 5 feet from the side of the boat where I power pulled down, where I wanted to start on the edge of a ditch going into the back of a creek. There was a banana, and it wasn't just a banana, it was a fresh banana, ripe, like it looked good to eat. And then I thought about it being bad luck, and I'm like, nah, surely not. Nah. Well, I fished a little bit further. There was another stick with a banana on it. There were actually 3 of them. Well, I ended up losing an absolute monster, broke 22 pound, and I just felt unlucky on that because it was a hook set, 8 foot of water. It was one of those bites you dream of, and it broke my line. I figured maybe that was the banana's fault.
Okay, so if you've been watching Lake Fork, it's like 6 foot low, and there's little stumps, trees all over the lake, out in the open water. So this is not like a banana that was like on shore or anything. This was a banana that was surrounded by water 360 degrees on a stump sticking out of the water.
Yeah, somebody purposely stuck the banana there wishing bad luck, I guess, on us. I'm not really sure what it is, but apparently I wasn't the only one to find a banana. There were other anglers that found bananas at other places.
Wait. So you're saying, I'm not into conspiracy theories here, Fred, but let me get this straight. You're saying that on Lake Fork, somebody took it upon themselves to get to not just 1, not just 2 or 3, but bunches of fresh yellow ripe bananas, and the night before the tournament went out in areas where they knew you guys would be fishing and planted bad luck bananas on the stumps.
Yeah, but there could have been a swimming baboon that likes to eat bananas on stumps at Lake Fork that we don't know about. It could be the new Bigfoot theory. So I don't really know what it's all about. I don't know why they were there. They looked really fresh, like as in grocery store.
Do you think it might have been
now fresh?
Okay, here's my question. So Group B is currently on the water, right?
Yes.
And you're eliminated in Group A. But you all had the same practice time, right?
Right.
So you were out there the day before. So my theory, and like I said, I'm talking to you about this for the first time, is that someone that is currently on the water from Group B did that at the end of the practice day in order to throw off some of the Group A guys.
Well, I never thought of it that way. There's also there's a 300 boat Bass Champs tournament coming up, and it went off limits on the Monday, so the second day that I got to fish, and there was a lot of locals around. So who knows? Maybe I found a spot that one of them didn't want me to catch fish on. Who knows? I don't know. I can't tell you that. Maybe somebody it was just a gag, and somebody was just messing around.
I'm looking at who's on the water right now, and we need to figure out who the most likely suspect would be if it was one of your fellow competitors who was banana bombing people.
Ish is the one that got me to fear bananas, but Ish fished the same day I did,
and
so
he caught the heck of them.
Ish.
Okay,
he
I could
them.
see.
So he never saw a banana either.
I could see Bobby Lane doing that.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe somebody got lost, and the only thing they had in their boat to leave a crumb trail was bananas.
I don't see Cliff Pace doing that. I don't see. I'm going through the list. Right, you know who I could see doing that would be sneaky is Jeremy Lawyer. That guy's always full of stories and doing some crazy stuff.
It was definitely, I would have thought James Watson, my roommate.
Yeah.
But because he's just goofy like that. But
was he in your same group though?
No, he's fishing today.
Oh, he is? Oh, yeah.
And he's rooming with me. But
yeah, I don't know if you mess with some. I don't know if you. Yeah. Who'd you see in practice? Did you see anyone in practice?
the only other angler I saw in practice was the other angler that fished around me, and he did great and he made the cut. It was Britt Myers. So I really don't think I don't think it was another
Britt's
angler.
too nice. Britt's super nice like that. Like
Dude,
I
Britt's
put him
awesome,
in
man.
the I put him in the James Niggemeyer category of people that are like the nicest people on tour.
No, I think there's either like a swimming baboon or gorilla that we don't know about that they have to feed, and the only way to get close enough to them is put the bananas on the trees.
No, I'm
because he's very
agreeing.
dangerous.
I'm agree. I kind of am now thinking that it's probably not a fellow competitor because I think that would mess with the mojo, and I don't think anybody would want to mess with their mojo. And B, it would require a lot of bananas in the boat, and I don't think anybody who would do that would put themselves at risk by putting that many bananas in the boat to start with. I feel like it would maybe come back on them.
Well, and here's another theory. You're right. Now, I think that's too much of a risk for somebody to do, whether they're a competitor of ours or another competitor. However, what do we call a big bass? Pigs, donkeys, gorillas.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody was trying to feed the fish. I don't know.
Because those bananas, let me Google in here. How long
I have no idea. It's so weird.
Hold on, I'm going to do a timing thing. So properly stored bananas will become fully ripe 2 to 5 days. They last 2 to 5 days once they become ripe. That looked like it was a fully ripe banana.
Yeah, it had to have been. So I found that spot the day before because I was in Group A, and there was no banana there. Right, so it had to have happened. And I fished there for the first part of the day, so it had to have been somebody
that saw
in the
you.
Afternoon. Well, I don't know if they saw me there. I mean, there were. Now I'll be honest with you, there were a lot of locals on the water.
Hey, who else got the banana on their spots? You said there were a couple other people that noticed it too?
Yeah, I just heard Ricky mentioning something about other anglers saw bananas. It wasn't just me.
Oh, I'd be interested to see if the bananas were distributed evenly throughout the lake or if it was just a particular area.
Well, yeah, it'd be an interesting thing. All I know is the spot was horrible for me. I didn't catch hardly any fish there, just 2, and had the worst tournament of my life. So I'm going to have to say I should have picked up the banana and ate the banana, and maybe my luck would have changed.
That'd have been a risky. You don't know where that banana's been, Fred.
Well, yeah, that was the other thing, too. I mean, heck, I've heard of banana spiders. A banana on a dead tree would draw a spider, I would think. So
yeah. Was it an out-of-the-way spot? Like, did someone have to intentionally go over there, or was it like on a well-traveled area where it had been like, we'll just mess with someone and I don't want these bananas in the boat, so we'll put them here?
I'll be honest with you, it's a pretty obvious spot. It was in the back of Birch Creek, which is like a major dead end of the ditch that runs into the woods where the fish are going to migrate to. So it was like the perfect scenario for pre-spawn. In my mind, I mean, I could see them on live scope. I just couldn't catch them. I mean, it was a good area, and there were a handful of locals fishing around that area. During my first day of competition, I actually got boxed in pretty bad. I caught 2 fish, and we had a 15-minute break, and there was a boat on each spot where I caught a fish that was fishing that wasn't in our tournament, which kind of bummed me out. But it's a big fish destination, and guys love fishing, and I don't blame them. Just wish they would have given me a little more room.
All right. Well, sorry you had a sucky tournament, but you'll bounce back, dude.
It happens. Well, here's the thing. I thought about it. I was, it was a long drive home last night, and I was thinking, somebody's got to finish at the bottom, or there wouldn't be standings. So I just held down the bottom this week.
Dude, it's weird. Like I was talking with John Cruz. He leads wire to wire, wins the first Elite Series, and then finishes like 72nd in the very next week. And you look at the standings here, and you've got Jared Lintner, who in Louisiana in Stage 1 just blew everyone away in the opening 2 rounds, and then goes to Lake Fork and catches a total of 2 fish. It's a humbling sport, dude.
Dude, it's so humbling. I mean, I never dreamed. And I thought about it too. I think I had so much confidence, so much different techniques and scenarios that I never settled with a single program. And I mean, guys were like, dude, you got a lot of rods on your deck. I'm like, yeah, but in my mind, I'm going to use every one of them.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. You just can't do that and compete. You can do that fun fishing, but you're still not going to use all the, you know what I mean? So I think I never settled down. I never did. So, I mean,
it is what it is. Like I said, I fully blame the banana.
But I am blaming the banana. I have to blame the banana because if I blame myself, then it's just depressing.
Yeah.
So, bananas are bad luck.
All right, Fred, that was it. I wanted to hear the banana story. What do you got coming up next? You're gonna be at?
Can you make me a banana and peanut butter sandwich, please? Oh, thanks.
Those are good.
What'd you say?
I haven't had one of those in forever. No, I'm to the point where I'm a big.
Those are good.
Well, we also talked about nutrition in the first half. One of the things I do is I will buy a big thing of trail mix sometimes, but every once in a while you go to the grocery store where they have them. You know, they make them and pack them there, and you pick it up, and they will have the banana chips in the trail mix. I won't use it. I'll get rid of every single banana chip. I won't let even the banana chip in the boat, even though it's a delicious snack. The dried banana chip, just mentally, I have to go through and pick it out of the trail mix.
I have a bag of dried banana chips in the console of my truck.
Do you really?
And the deer hit me. I didn't even think, but that's not on the water. I mean, you can't just say bananas are bad luck. Everything you do in life.
But were you doing something fishing related when the deer hit you? Like, were you traveling?
No, I was on my way to get my first oil change. Oh, and then the truck fell off the jack. I didn't even mention that part. At the dealership where I bought the vehicle.
I would get those things out,
first
dude.
Oil change ever. So yeah, I probably need to get those out. I'm gonna go pick it up here. It's all fixed. It's all healed up now.
I might call them and have them dispose of it, so you don't have to do it personally.
Hey, I do want to give a shout out. I know this isn't my place to do it, but at the same time, Horizon Trike and Marine, where they do all my Phoenix boat work and everything. But they also have a body shop and a tackle store. They took care of me tenfold on getting my truck in, getting it fixed while I was gone, and I'm picking it up today from something that the other estimate places all wanted 2 months to do. So I gotta give them that shout out. Thank you, Aaron.
Did you at least get to keep the deer?
No, I thought about it. I think they lived. I think they just came and kicked my truck and ran away.
Oh, hit the side. It wasn't like a full head on.
They ran into me. Like they were paralleling me, and then they just turned and ran into me twice in 2 different areas in 4 days.
In 2 different vehicles.
In 2 different vehicles. Yeah.
My goodness, Fred. Yeah, I would avoid the banana thing for a day or 2.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, hold on that banana sandwich, please. Oh man!
All right, dude. I appreciate it. Hey, what do you have coming up then, tournament wise?
So I'm getting ready to head to Coleman, Alabama, Smith Lake.
Yep.
Which I had a strong finish last time. I finished 10th.
Yep.
I think we're going to go back down to a 1 pound, 8 ounce minimum there because of the spotted bass, which I think is fair. Yeah. So it'll be a fun one. I mean, I'm excited to fish that lake. I've had pretty good results there. I do need a very strong one because I have literally tanked the last 2 tournaments. But you know me, I fish very fast and, like you said, erratic. Like I don't have a set game plan usually. So I like junk fishing. I like using different techniques. But once I get over this early pre-spawn hump, then I'm back into my wheelhouse. And I just haven't. We start the season off. I mean, this is going to be 3 tournaments pre-spawn.
Pre-spawn Florida strain.
Dude, if I would ever learn to slow down, I think I would catch him in the pre-spawn. But
it's crazy. Like, your biggest strength is also a weakness, though, because the reason you catch him in the late summer and fall and stuff is because of your ability to move and cover water and find actively feeding fish.
Right.
You're like basically Superman. Like, you have a little bit of a kryptonite, and Florida strain, cold front bass in February and March are your kryptonite.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It is my kryptonite. I'm just gonna look past it. I kind of expected it going into the season, like, oh great, Florida bass, and then we get these weather. If we had stable conditions, it might have been a little different. But we got these major cold fronts we've hit the last 2 tournaments. I mean, heck, I don't know.
I think there's words that Randy
it out,
Howell
move on.
took pictures and put on Facebook, perhaps of the bananas as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Randy Howell actually fished. I saw him later in the day in that same spot.
Okay. Let me see. Oh, well, he made the cut. So
yeah, he did, that's the thing. I think I'm the only one that fell victim, but it could be the first sighting
theory.
of the banana.
I think it is. Maybe it's a mojo deal where it translates to you and not everybody after that.
All right, so I got one more thing to tell you. So, and I know, where I was staying, there was a tree right next to my boat and it had deer legs in it, and I'm like, deer legs. So I took a picture and sent it to Julie, and she looked it up and she says, "Oh, you don't want to know." She sent me the result of it, and it said, "The one who finds the deer legs, it's a bad omen. It'll haunt them in their sleep," or something like that. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me!" So I think I've been hexed.
Really?
Voodoo, witchcraft. I don't know.
That's actually a thing. I just Googled it right now. Deer legs in tree. What does this mean? And they said it either means bad luck or there's a mountain lion around you.
So you tell me. I think
you either were stalked by a mountain lion all week, or you just.
You want me to send you a picture of it?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna send it to your cell phone.
Okay.
So you can show everybody. 'Cause it's pretty funny.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up.
I just sent you.
Okay.
In folklore, the deer leg will reappear to and haunt whoever finds it, even in their thoughts and dreams.
For
It's
how
a bad
long?
omen.
How do you undo it?
I don't know.
You have to
There you
figure.
go.
I mean, there's not like a timestamp on it. Like, I mean, once the banana's gone, you're golden.
Well, I'm going to be.
Do you think it was because you hit the deer?
I don't know, dude. So weird, isn't it?
And now your phone's not
So
working because I got nothing.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Now your phone's not working because I got nothing.
Did you not get the picture?
No.
What?
Dude.
Stop. It says I sent it. There's not.
No, I'm serious. It hasn't come through. Wait, I don't even know. Do I want to look at this?
Hold on. Maybe I sent. Hold on. Let me see.
If you send it to the wrong Matt, did you send a random Matt a picture of deer legs in a tree?
Yeah, I think I just did.
Oh.
I did. I did. Hold on. You should have gotten it now. Hold on.
You okay? Oh, I just got it. What the heck?
Yeah.
That's literally a pile of deer legs in a tree.
Yeah. That was right next to where I parked my boat.
Dude, I don't know what to tell you. I think you might win the next two, to be honest with you.
Well, I'm fixing to get some rabbit's feet, horseshoes,
Four-leaf clovers.
Help me out. What other good luck things are there?
Don't wear red underwear. That's a Crete thing.
Don't wear red underwear. Okay. Throw them out.
Some guys don't pump gas on the first day.
Okay.
I've got some. I got some.
Text me a list of all the good luck things. So
I've got
instead of,
some
like, having a list of things-
Mardi Gras beads from my mom that I could send you. I mean,
oh my gosh.
I keep them in my boat. You might want to. You could maybe like rub the head of the decoy, the duck decoy, Rojas's lucky duck decoy. He probably wouldn't want you around his boat though if he knew you were bad luck. But you're not though. That's the thing. You are like a traditionally lucky guy.
I think what I should do is just go find Jacob Wheeler's boat and go rub all the way around it.
Just
get all that good luck.
Yeah. I'm just curious. The other mat that you just sent a pile of deer legs to is probably like.
I have no idea. He'll probably send me back a text. Oh, let's see. Who did I send it to? That's funny.
All right, Fred.
Oh, I sent some Matt Pano, my Optimum and I'm a sponsor.
That's who I was gonna guess. If it's a Matt PA, Hallman has a dude.
That's funny because I just saw the P, Pan Rat.
Yeah.
I did it quick. Oops. Oh gosh! Did you see the little wordage that I sent you as well?
Yeah. No, I saw that already. Deer legs, meaning and definition. It's a folklore. Interesting stuff.
Yeah,
there.
I'm almost afraid to do anything at this moment. To be honest.
Nah, you're good. I think you got it. I think it goes in threes, right? Is that what they say? That good luck and bad luck goes in threes. So you had the deer legs, you hit the deer and the bananas.
Oh yeah.
So there's three.
Yeah, 2 vehicles in a tournament.
Yeah.
There you go. That's 3.
So you're golden. So
We're
you've worked your way through it, and now you're on the upswing.
That's awesome. I'm just gonna make sure I don't spill the salt shaker, walk under a ladder indoors, or pop an umbrella inside. We'll be good to go.
Oh, it's something about a mirror. Isn't there a mirror thing?
Oh yeah, let's not break a mirror or something like that.
Yeah. Dang, I'm still moving into the new house, so I actually have to move a couple mirrors. I need to be careful with that.
Oh gosh.
All right, Fred. We have exhausted the good and bad luck. Take care.
Hey, don't forget, I still got that original Vixen for you. You just got to come out and fish with me.
I'll be there once things turn around.
Yeah, well, when the luck changes, I'll see you.
It's probably gonna. You'll probably get it. You'll be like, "Oh, it's all bloated and expanded. It's split down the middle."
Well, hopefully, I did leave it in the boat for an entire season in the package.
Yep.
I didn't want to take it out of the package. So
all right, Fred.
It should be fine though.
Take care.
Okay,
Good
I'll
to
see
you. Good luck at Smith. Thanks for playing along.
I appreciate it. Bye.
All right, that was Fred Roumbanis. We could have gone on with that forever, but good show today. John Cruz bringing a lot of information and in my opinion, one of the most analytical anglers that's out there on tour. I go back and I've known John since he did a lot of work with like the PAA and that tournament circuit. Very active as far as kind of working with the anglers, for the anglers, understanding, what is best for the anglers. Obviously, big time on the business side of it. It's hard to believe that Missile Baits has been around for a decade already. I remember when he started that company, we're like, John Cruz and fishing, and now it's a household name and brand. And I wanted to kind of thank John for this before we got him off the show, but he was obviously having some audio issues there at the end. But when I fish the Opens, almost every single day after I fish the Opens, regardless of whether I have a really good or a bad day, one of the guys on tour, and I mean, this guy runs a business. He fishes the Elite Series. He's got a million things on his plate. He always just sends me, like a knuckles emoji and something that says "keep it up," or something that says "catch him better tomorrow" and stuff. So really cool that John, and I'm not like best friends with the guy or anything. I've just known him for a while, but really cool just that he goes out of his way to do that, and it means a lot. So I sent him a text after he weighed in the 28 pounds. I said, "Decent effort." He just said, I appreciate it. So big thanks to John Cruz riding a wave of momentum off of his win earlier in the year. It'll be interesting to see what he does in the Bassmaster Classic. Tomorrow on BTL, we got some weather coming in Oklahoma here. There's like a winter weather advisory, a bunch of stuff. I fully intend on being in the studio. Scott Palmer from the Bass Tank is also going to be in studio. It's still scheduled for him to be in studio now, but if the weather's horrible, I'm probably just going to live stream him in, but he is going to talk about electronic basics. Like I said, I learned a lot talking with Matt Looney from the Pro Guy Batteries from the show we did last month. And I think I want to kind of do the same thing on the units. Questions about some of my Lowrance Live units, questions about the forward-facing sonar, installation, why you don't want to use zip ties, things like that. And instead of just saying, it messes with the picture and all that, Scott knows why. And he can describe it in layman's terms, which I think is really important, so you kind of have an overall basic understanding of how all this stuff works. Also, we're going to talk with Brad Fuller from the TNPFL, the National Professional Fishing League, that kicks off on Thursday on Lake Cumberland. Tomorrow is one of their media days. And I think today is the last day of practice for the first of their 6 stops. But he's going to come on, answer questions about what's happening with the MPFL, what we can expect in their 6 stops this year along the way, and then working on some shows for next week. We might be 1 show short, or I might have to film something with Uncle Frank because, guys, it's Classic Week. It's Bassmaster Classic Week next week, which is hard to believe that is snuck up on us so quickly. So that's all we got for BTL on a Tuesday. Like I said, it is 2/2/2022, and I would like to thank each and every one of you for spending it with BTL. Big thanks to John Cruz. Big thanks to Fred Roumbanis. We'll be back tomorrow with Scott Palmer and Brad Fuller of the MPFL. And then, of course, as always, Uncle Frank returns for Thursday with another Day 4 episode. And that's it for a Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.